Hey, I'm Hannah. I how do you start these? I'm 28. I work in libraries, and I am gonna be talking about my knitting. I've got a wee paper as to what I need to get through today. I don't know how people do knitting podcasts, like, as even like a weekly or a monthly thing. I think I just knit at a rate too slow for me to do more than like once every 2-3 months. But yeah, got a little list of stuff to get through. Um, First thing that this is actually the last thing I mentioned in my last episode was I have been working on a really nice. It's a really simple. It's just it's a ye old triangle cardigan shawl. So I started with a garter tab. I had one increase on each end and two increases in the middle. I'd be doing increases every right side, just straight garter. So it's so meditative. It is my favorite kind of knitting. And this was done in Fyberspates Scrumptious. It's got a pretty high silk content, and it's got a pretty low twist. So the Fyberspates are like, hey, try to knit in a tighter gauge because otherwise it'll pill. I've actually not used this very much, so pretty much my mother stole it as soon as I'd finished it. So I've actually not worn it very much, but um I started I started making it because I was just feeling kind of down, and I was like, "Hey, I might as well." Because this is some yarn that I originally got as a gift to make a gift for somebody else, and then I was like, "Hey, the color's really nice. It's exactly in my color palette. Let's make something for me." And another thing that I vaguely floated last episode was like, what if I just do a year of selfish knitting, and I don't make anything for anyone else? You'll notice that has rapidly gone downhill because A, my mother stole the shawl, and B, I've been doing a little bit of other things as well. But I really enjoyed knitting this. I think that's the primary point. I really, really enjoyed knitting it. And it's so drapey. I'm not too sure how to show you. I think I might post a little clip of me wearing it because as of right now, you're balanced on my bed and it's a bit hard to show. But yeah, it got really big. I kept going. I was just like, I stopped. I took a video. And I was like, is this big enough? Insta told me no. My heart told me no. So I just kept going. I ended up getting another skein. And I remember someone was like, your shawl is big enough when when you have a blanket whilst you're knitting it. I think this is an excellent guideline. Yeah. I really like it. Also, the color is really nice. I think the color is moss. Okay, moving on. Consulting my handy dandy notebook paper. Green shawl, Arvo beanie. I man, I had a really productive streak. I want to say like a month, 2 months ago. I did this thing. I was like, I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna do all the things. And one of the things that I ended up just like impromptu making was I designed a super basic beanie. This, by the way, I designed entirely on Twitch. So if you would like to, please come join me as I knit and struggle to design live. But the idea for Twitch for me is I then use that same recording to make a step-by-step YouTube video, which has been made for this guy. So this is currently in testing. The testnet finishes on the 31st of May. I have had some really beautiful people send me their stuff already. Something that wilds me out about testnetting is I didn't realize until the course of my first testnet how insane it was that total strangers would give me hours of their time and their yarn to help me release a knitting pattern. And this is something that I can't provide compensation for. So yeah, I am, as always, just incredibly humbled and grateful to people who are doing that for me. I'll include a little montage, I think. I was trying to figure out how to add it without the visual noise being a bit much, but I will figure out and I will add this pictures that people have sent so far. I am very grateful. I am very, very grateful. Thank you. So, super basic beanie. It's called the Arvo beanie. In Kiwi slang, Arvo means afternoon. So the idea is that you can literally just knit this in an afternoon, which you can, by the way. I trialed and tested it. But yeah, I've got a pin on. I won't really show. This is the small size, and this is the large size. But I I have knitted. So I've knitted 4 of them so far because I needed to redo making the step-by-step YouTube video a few times, but I've got a pin on. I can't really show you very well. Yay! I look like an elf. Yeah, super basic. The only thing that I struggled a little bit with was how to do the decreases at the top, in a way that still looked nice. So what I ended up doing was like it's 4 equidistant. You put it 4 markers, 4 equidistant points, and then you just do decreases. I think it's I've forgotten. I can't remember the top of my head, but it creates kind of like a windmill pattern. Ignore the little hole. That's because I didn't tighten the live stitches when you fasten it closed. I didn't do that tight enough. Because this is a really slippery yarn. It's acrylic. But look, it looks like a windmill pattern. There are 4 equidistant points. I'll keep it on for the rest of the video. I just have a hair clip in the back. I kind of look like an elf. Okay. Doesn't really go with the fit, does it? Doesn't really go with the fit. Thank you, Arvo Beanie. You served me well. You served me well, my friend. The yarn, by the way, is a random acrylic one that I got, I think, early 20s? Like, I got it off Trade Me, which is kind of like the Kiwi version of eBay. I have a whole box of it. It's got this pearlescent sheen to it. It is acrylic. I've never figured out where to use it. But yeah. Easy. Super basic. And yeah, like I was saying, I being test knitted right now. I have made a step-by-step YouTube video for it. So I hope to be releasing that on the 6th of June. After my testers have gotten back to me, I've made their edits. Oh, I just remembered. I ended up test knitting something for one of my test knitters for the Arvo beanie. I'll go grab that one sec. So Caitlin Stark on Instagram, not the Game of Thrones character, she was one of my test knitters for the Arvo beanie. She gives fantastic feedback. I was just reading because she returned the PDF document to me with annotated comments on each of the lines. I was like, I need to bleep that out, don't I? Okay. But yeah, she gives amazing feedback, and she had a pattern, an Easter egg pattern. My dog is moving on the bed. Maybe. I love him so much. But he's so grumbly right now because I'm taking up the bulk of the bed space. He's just like, this is my comfy spot. Okay, I digress. Caitlin, she made a medium Easter egg knitting pattern size. As I was knitting it, I was just like, this is bigger than I thought it would be. She does specify in the pattern that it will be 13 centimeters tall. And she made it this size so her nieces and nephews wouldn't choke on it. I digress again. I made her Easter egg pattern. This kind of color work is my favorite thing to do because you can memorize it really easy, and it's intuitive to follow. but then you still get a nice pretty pattern. And the I like this kind of project as well because it's like one of those, oh my god, to speak corporate, like it's one of those quick wins. Like you get it done so quick that it feels satisfying and good to do. So yeah, that's an Easter egg. I ended up using from my stash a mohair yarn. This is again from really, really old, like acquired maybe early 20s, maybe even in my teens. Um, I'm gonna go grab it. And then the white, I haven't the foggiest what that is. It has no label. It is again incredibly old. I'll just go grab the yarn. It's this. So it's Gritty lamb's hair, 8 ply DK, 40% lamb's wool, 20% mohair, 40% acrylic. I got this at an op shop. Like over a decade ago now, I want to say. Not a decade ago. Maybe like under a decade ago now, but yeah, it's really old yarn. Yeah. 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 And the stuffing is I felted someone felted a skein of my hand spun yarn, and I asked on Instagram what I should do with it, and one of the suggestions was stuffing, and stuffing it indeed. I have a little friend now. Yeah. This is in the last episode I talked about having I think it was like 100 grams of acrylic fiber, and I mentioned a goal to spin it and then to design a shawl for it. I've since realized, especially after making that green shawl, I was like, I don't think 100 grams is going to be enough for the size of shawls that I tend to prefer. But this is what it ended up looking like. It's so soft. 1, 2, and 3. And I also technically have. So this was the first amount of it that I made. So all up, got a sizable amount, but probably not sizable enough for the projects that I want to do. So if you have any suggestions about what I could do with it, please let me know. I welcome your thoughts. Thoughts. Okay. Consulting my handy dandy notebook. Da-da-da. Oh yeah. Okay, so one I find really charming about Briar Patch Farm. They name the sheep that their fleece comes from. So in this case, last time I spun up Hilda's fleece. This time I got Ursula's fleece. I got. How do I show you without everything falling down? I will show you one sec. Oh, actually, I took a video, so I'll just include the video. But I have been spinning that up. The goal for me is to have consistent 100-gram lots. So I've been doing 50-gram singles, planning them together for 100-gram DK skeins. And I want this to be consistent because I want to dye over it with an orange dye. And the hope is that will give like a really beautiful rust heathered shape. I will show you the skeins. I worked at a hand-dyed yarn shop when I was 23. No, that's not right. When I first started being on YouTube and social media, and I learned how to twist like a bit of a loop of yarn into a skein there. So that is where the skill has come in handy. I'm really happy with how even that looks. Oh, that's the tie, but like Look how, like, that looks so good. I'm so happy with it. Yeah, so this is 100 gram, 100 gram. I've separated the So I've separated the big ones out into these small little bits. So this is 500 grams each, and yeah, and then I apply them together. My current knitting project right now is I am designing a beret for a friend and a coworker. We did a bit of an art trade, so she's published a work, a collection of poetry. Her last one was longlisted for the Ockham. That's a New Zealand book prize. Her last collection of poetry was longlisted for the Ockham Prize. I am designing a beanie for her, and she has in turn gifted me her work, her latest collection of poetry. So yeah. Okay. I'm making this out of. I went to Melbourne over a year ago now. I don't quite recall. The only thing I picked up there was this. Morris and Sons. I got the Estate 14 ply, and then 2 lots of the 8 ply. At first, when I was designing this beanie, I didn't want to use this because I don't think I had enough yarn, but I realized if I just hold these 2 together, I'll have enough yarn. I think. So, the beret, if you will. Basically, I've gone for it's brioche. I don't know if you can see. It's brioche, 8 like across of it, and then in between it's garter. So I'm hoping you'll be really slouchy, really comfy. Beret designs seem to be you just make a growing disc of fabric, and then when the disc is big enough, you stop increases, and then you do 2x2 ribbing or anything that'll keep it on your head, and then that seems to be the beret, I think. We'll see. I am largely freehanding this. I'm taking copious notes because I've learned the hard way that I don't remember anything. I need to write down like how many stitches were in each row, but we'll see, and we'll see how this goes. If this works, I do want to publish it as a pattern with, again, another step-by-step YouTube video, because that's just like a private long-term goal of mine, but if it works, I shall simply be stoked that I have a thing that I can now give to my friend. I believe I'm nearly done now. I believe. I went to woolfest yesterday. It was really fun. Sorry, the crinkling of the plastic. What absolutely blew my mind is I had a couple of people come up to me and be like, "Hey, I've seen you and your antics on Instagram." That was so delightful. Absolutely blew my mind. Yeah, genuinely wild. I love the phrasing of antics. I love the idea of someone being like, yeah, that girl and her antics, I've seen them. But yeah, woolfest, it was beautiful. It was such a nice day yesterday. It was it was a very sunny autumny blue, but with a little bit of crispness. I went with a friend. We were roasting because we thought it'd be much colder on the day than it was, but yeah, I'll include little videos. We had a quick look at the stalls. It was packed out as per normal, in the sheds, because there's 4 sheds, and then I think there's like 80 plus traders that have their own stalls within the sheds. I had a real good chat with the 40 Shades of Grey people. They have Gotland sheep. She knows her sheep by name. The Gotland sheep has spindly little legs, and yeah, I didn't actually end up getting anything from them, but it was a real lovely good chat. And like she has man, Patch and I've lost the name, but one is the great granddaughter of the other sheep, and she had the sheep fleece and like little paper bags with yeah, it's really really cool. And it from the sounds of it, it is a lot more work keeping the fleece together. like by sheep name and type as you process it. So I think it's really cool that you have a paper bag full of fleece and it's like it's all from Patch from that one lot. But I ended up getting this lot. It's 50-50 alpaca and merino, I think. 50-50 alpaca and wool. I had the extraordinary joy of just carrying this around the woolfest like Santa Claus in like a little Santa Claus sack. But and then I was just sat at the tables where all the food trucks are, and this little lady was like, "Hey, honey, you want to put that under the table and not in the sun? Because I saw someone's like fiber sweating earlier." I was like, "Thank you for telling me, because that is absolutely horrifying, and I'm glad that didn't happen to my fiber. Sorry, but yeah, that is my next project." I love it so much. I will also say, I went to woolfest this year with the express intention of like not spending. I had a budget and I kept within that budget. The only other thing that I got is I got a $12, it was half price, $12 braid of fiber from Roxy Fibers to spin. Regrettably, I don't know where I put it. ADHD. So it's 28 micron Corriedale. It's not superwash. It's approximately 100 grams. The colorway is called Lychee. Look how pretty it is. It looks like an apple. Ugh. Yeah. I tend to struggle with 100-gram lots just because I don't know what to do with it. Like I don't know, like I remember posing this question on Instagram. I was just like, do you like knit a beanie? You can't knit a beanie with 100 grams, I don't think. Like, what do you guys do with it? Again, I welcome suggestions as to what I should do with this beautiful bit of fiber once I've got it knitted up. I think that's it for me. I think I've just blitzed through a lot of topics, but I think yeah, that's what I've been up to as like knitting or fiber wise for the last couple of months. If you enjoyed this episode, please do give me a thumbs up or subscribe or leave me a comment. Yeah. As a baby creator, it just brings me joy when people comment on my stuff. Also, please join me on Instagram. I'm very much more active on Instagram than I am on YouTube. My handle is Hannah Banana Knits, as it is on Instagram and TikTok and Twitch. And Twitch, which is the final one that I've been trying recently. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Love you. Bye.